Good afternoon, I'm Sam Mills and this is your Solent Journalism Update at 1:30. Today's headlines are: the future of Brexit has been questioned, a man has been charged with the murder of Lucy McHugh, and how safe do Southampton residents really feel? And marketing agency owner Thomas Dill joins us to talk about marketing, student marketing. Brexit Secretary Dominic Raab and Secretary of State Esther McVey have resigned today, along with two junior MPs, both citing the deal Theresa May has put forward in their resignation letters they have tweeted out. Our Brexit reporter Thomas Lewis is in the studio today. Thomas, why have these people resigned?
The resignation letters have been very damning to the deal the PM is trying to sell to the government, both of which saying that Miss May's position on Northern Ireland holds a threat to the integrity of the UK. These
are not the first resignations during Theresa May's time as PM, are they?
Far from it. These are the 20th and 21st cabinet resignations since Miss May started, with Dominic Raab being the second Brexit secretary in 6 months to resign from the position. Things get worse for the PM though, as many experts are claiming there could be a vote of no confidence as soon as this afternoon.
Thanks, Thomas. We'll cover any further developments in the story later. A 24-year-old man has been charged with the murder of local teenager Lucy McHugh after she was found dead at the Southampton Sports Centre in July. Stephen Allen Nicholson, of no fixed address, has been charged with the murder, the rape of a child under 13, and 2 counts of sexual activity with a child under the age of 16. Mr. Nicholson has been remanded in custody and is due to appear in court Monday morning. Following a recent increase in violent crime, residents of Southampton are beginning to question the safety of their city streets. Officials are trying to combat crime rates in the city, but Councillor Dave Shields believes that budget cuts are leading to more antisocial behaviour.
But the money that's available to us is reduced. So in Hampshire, the last 4 or 5 years, we've seen 1,000 fewer policemen employed by the police authority because of the cuts that the government have made.
Despite violent crime numbers rising in Southampton, residents of Southampton's Shirley Borough have noticed a decline in police officers actively patrolling their streets. But why is this? With the city being ranked second in the Home Office's report on Britain's hate crime, Neto Nelberto met former Hampshire Police Commissioner and Director of Social Change Society Simon Hayes to discuss the challenges facing the police today.
A lot of knife crime is, not all of it, but a lot of it is drug related. A lot of it is debt collection within the drug world. So the constabulary and policing that sort of community needs to be really quite intense and strong and hard.
Despite these growing concerns, Councillor Dan Fitzhenry insists that residents have nothing to worry about.
Crime normally, there are issues that we've had. We're working with our partners to try and resolve those issues, but there's no need for the public to panic or have undue worry. But we've got to try and understand what's causing the problem.
17 months after the fire in Grenfell Tower killed 72 people, the residents of Southampton took to the streets last night to not only pay their respects, but also to demand justice for the victims of the fire. Despite an inquiry into the fire, Julie Renyard from New Forest Labour Party believes that there isn't being enough done for the people who survived the fire.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, the government have done very little at the moment. There are still many families living in emergency accommodation, which basically means bed and breakfast. They have nowhere to call their own home. There are also families who have been offered accommodation in areas outside of their communities, outside of the borough, in places as far north as Newcastle, and if they do not want to move, then they are told that they are making themselves intentionally homeless and they are no longer considered for accommodation. I think it's absolutely atrocious.
Plans are in motion for another large apartment block to be built for students in central Southampton. This has divided opinions amongst residents living in the area, most of whom are claiming the area is being overtaken by students. Joe Parker has more.
Southampton is a city that's known for having a large student population. Of course, with this comes the need to accommodate such a vast amount of students. New student housing has been shooting up in various locations across the city, most notably in the city centre. A new 188-bed student apartment complex is being proposed in the city's Old Town, opposite the historic Red Lion pub. Jordan Stevens has lived and worked in Southampton his whole life and says that whilst the student population does contribute to the local economy, the increased housing is becoming a concern.
There are pros and cons for having two high-quality universities here in Southampton. The students bring a lot of custom to the city. The city centre is vibrant, it's expanding. A major con would be the fact that nearly every new building that seems to go up in the city is student housing. It comes to the point with how much student housing can you have until your city centre is overrun.
Students have to live somewhere, though. The universities try their best to accommodate those in first year, but sometimes can't guarantee a place to live. And what about mature students who are unwilling to move into halls of residence or live in a shared house with younger students? Scott Davies, a mature student studying at the Warsash Maritime Academy, recently moved into a newly built student apartment.
I found it really handy being a mature student. Coming back to uni for the second time, I didn't really want to be back around all the young 18, 19 year olds just celebrating new freshers going out every night, so it was handy having somewhere A, cheaper, and B, without all of that going on around me. So yeah, I was quite happy about that.
Students and locals will never truly see eye to eye, and housing is always a point of contention between the two groups of people. However, nothing currently seems to be stopping the building of new student accommodation in Southampton. I'm Joe Parker for Solent News.
Fashion marketing students from Solent University are on a roll selling their handmade decorations and clothes, but their goal is much bigger than just making a profit. Students are aiming to collect as much money as they can in order to support local charities. Today, I'm with my guest Tom Ashdill, who's the leader of fashion marketing student sales and also a marketing agency owner. So explain to me a bit more about this project.
First of all, good afternoon. Yes, so retail management students at level 6 are currently both in the Spark and the RM foyer of the main building selling items that they've first of all designed, then they got produced over the summer, and now they're trying to basically sell it off. So it's part of a big sell-off project, so that's what they're doing.
So how did this all start?
It obviously started as part of an assignment. Previously, as I've mentioned, they've had to design the products that they're willing to sell, and now they've taken to the sort of streets, but also to the campus itself to try to sell those items. And there's a variety of things from hats, scarves, right through to sort of handmade jars and other decorations. So perfect for anybody who's looking for the Christmas gifts, little sort of stock fittings and fixtures and things like that. So there's plenty of things there.
And who are the target market here in terms of, are they varying or are they specific?
No, absolutely, it does vary. So obviously, we're looking at anybody, whether it's a student, staff, or even with today's sort of popular day of students visiting us on the campus, it could be anybody. There's a variety of items. I think they're suited for pretty much everybody.
And which charities do you support?
Students have collectively selected to support the Isle of Wight Donkey Sanctuary. So they are raising money, and some of the profits from the big sell-off will be donated to support donkeys over the winter, so that they've got enough food and obviously shelter.
Well, that's always good. Who doesn't like donkeys?
Of course.
Exactly. Thank you very much for joining us. Now here's Tommy with the sports.
Saints goalkeeper Alex McCarthy may get his first cap for England tonight as they face the US in a friendly at Wembley Stadium. Wayne Rooney could be set to earn his 120th cap for England. The former Everton and Manchester United striker retired from international football in 2017, however held talks with the FA in hope of organising this fixture. In cricket, England trailed Sri Lanka by 46 runs, with all of their wickets left at the end of the second day of the second test. England made the unconventional decision to open their batting with spin bowler Jack Leach in order to protect their stronger batsmen during the final overs of the day. Leach and traditional opener Rory Burns are scoreless heading into day 3.
And skating, thank you very much for that. And skating on to other news, Hogland Skate Park is expected to have a £50,000 investment. Despite many residents thinking that skateboarding is an annoyance, Dexter Mutherine, a local skateboarder, believes that it's helping the youth stay out of trouble.
I'm not ignorant to the fact that skateboarding can be annoying. I know that it can be annoying, it's loud, it's fast-paced. A lot of people, especially the older generation, are quite intimidated by skateboarding. Luckily, Guildhall Square is a large enough area that it is avoidable, but you still get, close calls and stuff like that, which means that it would be really good to have a more up-to-date facility specifically for skateboarding, and it can separate skateboarders from pedestrians, because I know that's a big problem for a lot of the pedestrians who use Guildhall Square, is that they kind of feel like they're walking through it all. Whereas if it was a specified place, it would be a lot easier to separate that.
It's been a turbulent week, both on and off screen. So to catch you up, here's Adriana with your entertainment.
In entertainment news, film lovers across the city have been coming together as the 11th annual Southampton Film Week is happening from 9th to 18th of November and promises to bring a lot of film culture to the city. This festival is directed by Susan Beckett and is organized by Southampton charity City Eye. Derby Road will be closed on Sunday, as Southampton's second Derby run will take place on the 18th of this month. The event welcomes Beversworth Ward residents to make their way down the road in an attempt to improve health and community spirit in the area. One aspect everyone looks forward to before Christmas is the littering of Christmas adverts that fill our screens. This year, Iceland had allegedly been banned by industry advisor body Clearcast, who later announced the ban was based on a misunderstanding. Keeping things icy, Southampton annual ice rink has made its home for the winter in West Quay South. This year's rink is said to be 20% larger than last year, paired with better skates, aids and improved session times. And now, Megan Irwin with the weather.
That's all from us for now. You can find all our stories and more at solentjournalism.co.uk. We'll be back at 3 o'clock for our final update of the day. This has been Sam. Thanks for listening.